So I want you to just imagine you're sitting in your living room for a second.
Okay, setting the scene.
Yeah. It's
There.
late at night, right? You're enjoying some quiet time, maybe reading. And then suddenly you hear this distinct scratching sound inside your walls or like scurrying up in the attic.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's just a universally unsettling feeling for any property owner.
It really is because you instantly know your house has been breached.
Exactly.
And that's the mission for today's deep dive. We are unpacking the operations of a highly specialized company that deals with exactly this. They're called the Critter Squad, Inc., and they're based out of Lake Jackson, Texas.
Right. And what's fascinating here is that typical wildlife control, how most people think of it anyway, is usually just about removing an animal.
Like treating a symptom with a Band-Aid. You catch the raccoon, but the hole in the roof is still there.
Precisely. But professional control at this level is about understanding that intersection of human habitats and animal behavior. It's so much deeper than just setting a trap.
It's basically a tactical home security operation. So whether you're dealing with an urgent wildlife crisis right this second, or, you just want to know how to protect your property long term, you'll definitely want to take notes on this.
For sure. Because you can't execute that kind of complex operation without a really disciplined command structure.
Right. Which brings us to the people actually stepping onto your property. We have to look at their foundation. The Critter Squad was founded in 2014 by owners Zach and Taylor Holman.
Yeah, and a key point here is that Zach actually works directly in the field.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he brings over 15 years of hands-on experience to every single inspection. It's not just someone sitting behind a desk.
That makes a huge difference. And the sources also highlight that this is a military veteran-owned operation.
Which is huge.
Yeah.
That military background completely drives their core values. We're talking discipline, accountability, and this very strict do it right the first time mentality.
Okay, let's unpack this for a second because, lots of companies claim to be disciplined, right? That's just good marketing. But how does a military background specifically translate into, like, catching a raccoon in someone's attic?
Well, it translates to thorough structural assessments, for one. They don't just guess. And it means exceptionally clear communication with the customer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a rigid adherence to protocols rather than just winging it in the field. No shortcuts, which is exactly why they can offer a 100% written service guarantee.
Wait, 100% in wildlife control. That seems bold.
It is bold, but they are fully licensed and insured, and that adherence to protocol naturally leads into their elite industry credentials.
Right, which they definitely need when dealing with highly regulated species, like bats.
Oh, bats are incredibly demanding to deal with.
And that's one of their primary areas of expertise, right?
Exactly. They are proud members of the National Wildlife Control Operators Association, or NWCOA. That represents a serious commitment to ethical management and continuing education.
So they aren't just making up the rules as they go.
Definitely not. In fact, for bat removal, they use methods specifically reviewed and approved by Bat Conservation International.
Because in the Lake Jackson area, Brazilian free-tailed bats are a common issue, aren't they?
Yeah, they frequently establish these massive colonies inside local building voids.
But you can't just exterminate them.
No, absolutely not. If we connect this to the bigger picture, bats are vital to the ecosystem. The goal is humane relocation through smart architecture.
Right, and they do that by strictly complying with Texas parks and wildlife regulations, like operating outside of maternity season so they don't separate mothers from flightless babies.
Exactly. And they utilize these humane one-way valve exclusion systems.
I love how these work. It's basically a wildlife turnstile, or like a VIP exit-only door at a club.
That's a great way to put it.
The bats can leave the club to go eat bugs, but the valve isn't letting them back inside.
Right. It allows them out safely, but physically prevents reentry. Both NWCOA and Bat Conservation International heavily champion this approach.
It's brilliant. But moving away from bats, let's look at the other threats, the ones trying to turn your attic into a luxury high-rise.
Oh, the attic ecosystem is a battleground.
Yeah. Take raccoons. The sources say they're the most common attic problem in Brazoria County.
And they require such careful handling. It's not just trapping the adult. You have to do special humane handling for baby raccoons, keeping them separate and safe.
And then there are squirrels, which, people think are cute in the park, but in an attic.
Fast damage dealers.
Yeah.
Just total destruction. They chew through insulation, nesting materials, and most dangerously, they chew through your wiring.
Which is a massive fire hazard.
Massive. So they require trapping, but also a comprehensive soffit and roof repair, plus odor removal so they don't attract more.
And we can't forget roof rats, a persistent Gulf Coast menace.
Yeah, those require completely rodent-proof materials to seal the structure. They can compress their bodies to fit through tiny gaps.
Wow. And birds too, right?
Yeah.
Nesting in exhaust vents or on ledges.
Yes. But with birds and really all of these animals, removal must be followed by complete disinfection.
So wait, let me stop you there. Removing the animal is only half the battle. Why is the biohazard cleanup constantly mentioned alongside the trapping for all these species?
Because of the dangerous reality of zoonotic diseases.
Okay, meaning diseases passed from animals to humans.
Exactly. Leaving raccoon feces or bird nesting debris or bat guano inside a ventilation system is an invisible, ongoing threat.
Oh, because the HVAC system just blows it around the house.
Yes, it's a huge threat to the respiratory health of the humans living below. Exclusion stops the animal, but decontamination saves the human.
That makes total sense. Okay, so while you're looking up at your roof and your vents worrying about airborne threats, there's an entirely different set of threats attacking from the ground up.
The ground assault, it requires a totally different tactical approach.
Let's talk about armadillos first.
Major yard and landscaping destroyers. Their digging is relentless.
Right. And here's where it gets really interesting to me. It's like they're clandestine subterranean miners. They're trying to literally undermine the very foundation of your property.
That is exactly what they do. So the Critter Squad traps them, sure, but then they remove the burrows and actually install underground barriers to protect the foundations.
Like an underground fortress wall.
Exactly. And skunks are similar. They love denning under decks, sheds, and patios.
Smelly subterranean miners.
Right. Addressed with humane trapping, burrow removal, and specialized prevention barriers so nothing can crawl under there again.
And then the one that probably scares people the most, snakes.
Oh, yeah. The Lake Jackson area has a lot of them. Venomous ones like copperheads, rattlesnakes, and cottonmouths.
Not to mention the non-venomous rat snakes.
Exactly. And for snakes, the team provides trapping for ongoing pressure, but the real fix is snake proofing.
Meaning you eliminate the conditions that attract them in the first place.
Right. Because a venomous snake or a compromised foundation from armadillo burrowing isn't just a nuisance, it's an immediate liability.
It totally impacts property values and safety.
It requires professional intervention.
Okay, so whether the invasion was from the air, the trees, or the ground, once the animals are finally gone, your property is basically a battleground that needs to be rebuilt.
That is the ultimate fix. Wildlife removal is literally only step one.
The Critter Squad offers full property restoration.
Full restoration, animal damage repair, structural repair, total attic cleanouts. They will replace your contaminated insulation.
And the sanitation side of it.
They handle dead animal removal, complete odor elimination, guano decontamination, and total attic disinfection.
And they also do comprehensive property protection plans, providing animal-proof barriers and entry point sealing.
But the key is they use chew-proof materials.
So what does this all mean for the listener? I mean, if I hire them, am I going to have to call them back next year when a new squirrel decides to move into the old squirrel's apartment?
Well, that is exactly why the 100% written service guarantee and their focus on permanent exclusion are so critical.
Right, because they use materials the animals literally can't chew through.
Exactly. The Critter Squad isn't in the business of repeat trapping. They're in the business of permanent property modification.
Fix it once, fix it right.
Exactly.
Okay, so now that we understand the full scope of what it takes to permanently secure a home, let's talk mission logistics. How can the listener actually deploy this team?
Well, their service area is anchored by the Lake Jackson office, and that serves all of southern Brazoria County.
Okay, southern Brazoria County. And what's their availability like? Because animals don't really stick to business hours.
They do not, which is why the team is available 7 days a week. And for urgent situations, phones are answered day and night 24/7.
That is huge.
Yeah, and same day or next day appointments are often available. Plus, they do free phone quotes.
Okay, listener, I want you to playfully but seriously lock this number into your contacts right now. Because when a bat is doing laps in your living room at 2 a.m., nobody wants to be scrolling the internet in a panic.
Trust me, you do not.
So their physical address is 164 Oak Drive, Lake Jackson, Texas, 77566. Let me repeat that. 164 Oak Drive, Lake Jackson, TX 77566.
And you can reach them by phone at 979-300-5311.
Again, that phone number is 979-300-5311.
Put it in your phone.
Seriously, do it. All right, to summarize this deep dive, Zach and Taylor Hallman have built a really impressive, veteran-owned powerhouse here.
They really have.
They bring military precision, elite credentials from NWCOA and Bat Conservation International, and just guaranteed peace of mind to Lake Jackson.
And it's a permanent, humane solution. You really don't have to share your home with unexpected wildlife roommates.
A solution is literally just a phone call away.
You know, reviewing all this, it raises a really important question for me to leave you with.
Oh, what's that?
Well, as our neighborhoods constantly expand, we often view wildlife as, invading our spaces.
Right, like they are the intruder.
But considering how perfectly our warm, insulated, completely weatherproof attics mimic their natural nesting environments.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Are they really invading, or are we simply building the ultimate, irresistible luxury housing for nature?
Man, that is a great point to mull over next time you look up at your roof. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Stay safe, check your foundation, and we'll catch you on the next one.